Lady Jesus is the debut album from Upsahl, who we're so happy to have back on the program.
Thank you for having me.
There you are, in the flesh, in person.
Thank you. It's so cool to be back in like the same space where I first met you guys and did this interview.
Isn't this crazy?
It's so weird. It feels very full circle.
Very.
It's so fun.
You were an opener then.
Yes.
You're headlining now.
Let's
San
go.
Francisco.
Yes.
And you were telling me that was your very first show as Upsahl.
Yeah, that was my first show out of because when I was in high school, I was always playing shows in Phoenix and at venues in Phoenix. And yeah, that was literally, I hadn't played a show for like a year and a half since moving to LA. And it was here.
That's
it's
crazy.
So weird to be back. Yeah,
That's
cool.
so crazy. And I think that you just killed it. You impressed so many people. It's so funny how a lot of the songs you played then are starting to resonate and like all your fans like know every word now.
It's so fun. Yeah, it's weird because, you know, I've spent my entire like career so far as an opener. So like maybe like 2 or 3 people in the audience will know the words to my songs. But getting to play, I've gotten to do a few headlining shows recently, and I'm like, oh, people actually listen to my music? Like, they know the words? It's crazy.
Why are you so surprised?
It's shocking. It's so weird. I'm like, oh, like, these numbers aren't fake. Like, you know, some days you're like, are people playing a joke on me? Like, does no one actually listen to my music? So it is cool to, like, actually see it at a show.
Well, that's been the thing. I feel like, you know, you were our little secret, and now all of a sudden everybody knows you.
Word.
You're working with Mike Shiinoda, Ty Verdes,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da-da. The list is, like, long.
Word, yeah, thank you. It's been fun.
I admire your persistence and your work ethic.
Thanks.
Because you're no nonsense. What do you attribute that to?
I think it's just, I kind of had this moment when I was graduating high school. I went to like a college prep, which we probably talked about in the last interview 3.5 years ago or whatever. But my whole life, I was like, I'm supposed to go to college or else I'm going to fail at life. And then I had this moment like at the end of my senior year of high school where I was like, I'm just going to full send it in music and just hope for the best. And so for me, it's kind of like life or death with music. Like, it's the only thing I want to do with my life. So I'm just working to make it work and to make ends meet, I guess, doing this. Yeah, so I feel very lucky that this is my job, for sure.
How did working with Mike Shiinoda change your perspective?
It was crazy. I mean, it was especially weird because we made the song over Zoom, like in a song, just in like a session on Zoom with, it was actually my friends, Pete Nappy and Samantha Ronson were like, yo, we have a session with Mike, like, do you want to join? And I was like, why do you want me to join? Like, that's Mike Shiinoda, like, he's way cooler, like, I'm gonna ruin this session, like, no. And joined in on Zoom, and we wrote Happy Endings. And then I think, yeah, I guess they were kind of looking for, like, other features for the song. And then Mike, and I was so down, I was like, it's a great cut for me as a songwriter, like, sure. And then Mike called me, he was like, yo, like, I can't really find anyone who I, like, enjoy hearing on this song except for you, like, will you stay on it? And I was like, fucking kidding? Of course I will. Yes, please, I'm such a fan. And then the first time I met him was when we performed it on TV together.
Really?
Because it was during COVID, yeah. So it was a very unique experience, but I'm just like so honored to even be like a small part of Mike's world, yeah.
And that, along with being in a co-write with Dua Lipa,
Yeah.
and all these things, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Right?
It's been
And
fun.
again, the work ethic involved, and then to be able to parse out, focus on this album,
Yeah.
which is all you, sharing this heartbreak.
Yes. It was
Recent,
real.
like during 20 months?
During COVID, yeah. During
Really?
2020, yes. It was, yeah, it was with like the only person I'd ever been with. He moved to LA with me like pretty shortly after I had moved there. So this dude was like a big part of my identity. So when that ended, I was like, who am I now? Like, I just lost half of myself, basically, is how it felt. And I was also like, I'm my age, and like breakups, you feel like the world is ending when you're this young. So yeah, I thought my world was ending and couldn't like go out and distract myself because we were in quarantine. So I just like went into the studio as much as I could and ended up just like narrating like the roller coaster of emotions that I went through in that year, and then kind of experienced like it sounds so cheesy, but like a personal, like, I guess like rebirth, and just like found myself again, and like just gained this whole new like relationship with myself, and called the album Lady Jesus, and yeah, now it's out for people to listen to.
What was the epiphany that you had? Because when you go through a breakup, you obviously, I don't know, how long was the relationship?
Like forever. Like I think we were together when I was like 16.
So
like,
high school sweethearts.
Oh yeah,
basically.
like it was yes, it was long, too long.
Wow.
But yes.
So you become each other in many ways because
Exactly.
you're so young, and as you grow, you change, you absorb some of their characteristics and traits, and vice
Totally.
versa, right?
Yeah.
So what was the epiphany of, where's Taylor, and what is Taylor today?
I was in a writing camp, or like I did a trip with my friends Johnny and Will, who who wrote a lot of the album with me, and we were in Nashville, and we did shrooms, and I kind of realized, am I allowed to say that in this? Sorry, how
Yes.
PG does this have to be? Sorry, we
You drink, you do
We're doing the
shrooms,
thing.
you smoke, you
It's
eat
very-
sushi.
Yeah, I eat sushi's the real drug. But no, we had this like beautiful kind of like trip, and I realized I was like, I think I'm like okay now. Like I'm good without this person. I feel like complete again. I'm like a whole person now. I know who I am as like a friend, as a daughter, as a sister, as like all these things, and as like a collaborator and an artist. Like I just felt so secure in that moment. And earlier that day, we had written the song Lady Jesus, and I was like, I seriously feel like I've been reborn. Like I'm Lady Jesus. This was me and my whole But yeah, coming out of that day, it was like the album's called Lady Jesus. It's telling the story of this rebirth, and like that's it. And I remember like telling it to my team, and they were all like so on board, and so we've just been rolling with it.
You just celebrated a birthday literally days before this.
Oh yes, like 2
Filming.
days ago. Yes.
Happy belated.
Thank you.
Words of wisdom.
Oh, whoa! I'm not wise. I don't know anything I'm doing.
You know, every birthday you blow out the
Yeah.
candles. All right, make a speech.
Oh yeah. So 22. Just kidding. I think the biggest thing I've learned this year is, I guess just like balance in my life. Because I was realizing I was getting like burnt out in the studio over the past year, and it was because I wasn't touring. And now that touring's back, I can go kind of back and forth between the two things that I love the most. And so I think balance is the biggest thing I've learned, just even in the past couple of months. But yeah, I think my goal for 23 is to just live a balanced, chill life, but also rage, balance.
Balance.
Yes.
See, I can tell you're very calm right now.
Yes.
After the show tonight.
Totally different. I'm gonna be.
And that's why I'm
tequila
gonna stick
shots in.
around.
Yes. No, we'll rage. We gotta do an update.
Can
I'm
we?
gonna be like, yes, we have to. We have to. It'll be great.
Awesome. Well, congrats on this album.
Thank you.
I can't believe we're doing this in person.
Me too. It makes me want to cry. It's like
Tell me
so
about
cool.
it. Yes.
It's just really cool. Like, just to be back at live shows and like have the energy of multiple people in a room again is like so magical. Like we took it so for granted before everything was shut down. But also just to be back with you is really, really cool because you were literally the first person that did this. So thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it. Hell yeah.
Awesome.
This
Well,
is dope.
congrats again,
Thank you.
and we'll check you out on stage.
It's gonna be a good ass time. Let's
That's
go.
right.
Hell
Yes. She is Upsahl, Lady Jesus, her debut album, and you're watching B-Sides.
yeah. Hey.